Women in Focus, a podcast by British Naturism. Hi, and welcome to Women in Focus, Episode 6, brought to you by British Naturism. I'm Helen Berryman, your host, and today we talk to Sue May, who is a British Naturism member and has been for about 6 years or so. She lives in Hampshire with her partner, who's also a naturist. She's part of my Women in Naturism campaign team and is very helpful and supportive. Please remember to like and subscribe on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Your engagement really does matter. So let's welcome now Sue May. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Helen.
So thank you for joining us today, Sue. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I live on the South Coast. I've been a naturist for, I think 7 or 8 years now. I live with my partner, Andrew, who's also a naturist, thankfully. So that goes down very well. It's always handy if you have a partner that's also a naturist. I do an awful lot for BN. I help you out with the Women in Naturism campaigns. I do bits for media. We do a lot of holiday reviews. We've just had a nice big spread in the latest BN magazine.
I saw that.
From our France holiday that we did last year. That was good. And yeah, just try and promote naturism wherever we are.
Wonderful. So you say you've been a naturist 6, 7, 8 years. How did it all begin?
Oh, well, I can blame Andrew Welsh for that.
For those that don't know, Andrew Welsh works for British Naturism and he's our marketing guy.
I saw him on TV promoting the Great British Skinny Dip. I forget what year, 17, I think it may have been. Yeah, and I saw him promoting that, and there was clips of him at Alton Towers, and I presume in his garden, and Nudifest, and something stuck in my head, and it was, when you go abroad to Spain, you might sunbathe topless, because everybody does, and you think that's going quite far, but then you just think you do it in your garden, and you think, what's the point of the bottoms? And that's kind of how it started. And I went to my first Great British Skinny Dip, which was at Oaklands Pool in Southampton. Met lots of lovely people that turned out to be very good friends, go to the clubs, and that's when I got introduced to BN. I met Andrew at Nudefest, and here I am. And that's kind of how it started and literally snowballed.
It does that, doesn't it? It's only been 3 years for me.
It does. I know. And you turn on the TV and there you are on morning TV programs and in the newspaper. I think it's fantastic.
So with Andrew, so you actually met at a naturist place?
My partner, Andrew.
Yes, your partner, Andrew.
My partner, Andrew, we first met on a local naturist beach and we've kept on bumping into each other. We had mutual friends who bumped into together at Skinny Dip, club events, that sort of thing, or on the local beach. And that's kind of where things sparked off, I suppose.
Didn't you say to me once, let me just see if I can remember this, that you went on a date dressed and it was a bit weird? Was that you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first at least 4 or 5 times that we met, we were both naked and thought nothing of it. That was, to us, that's normal. You meet people naked. But when we actually went on our first date to a pub, have a meal, we were dressed. And it was the first time we'd seen each other clothed. It was bizarre. And we could tell that we felt a little bit awkward because I say most people, majority of people, I guess, go on dates in their clothes. To see somebody naked is quite a big thing. And that's when they feel awkward. For us, it was the other way around. It's very odd seeing style of clothes when you've never seen somebody clothed.
Did it put you off?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's the thing. I was talking to somebody for the last podcast, I think, and her view was that clothing actually can be very sexualized. What are your thoughts on that?
It's funny. As you know, I've done some radio interviews. I did one for, it was BBC 3 Talkie Hour or something, I can't remember. But I ended up having almost an hour and a half chat to 22, 23-year-old fashion student from London. And it was very interesting that, she was very pro-clothes, pro-style. Everything was, her life revolved around clothing, whereas mine, complete polar opposite. So it was quite an interesting conversation, and trying to we were trying to convince each other that our way of lives were better. So that was interesting. But the other thing is, when I did the documentary at Sunfolk, we were sat there having a cup of tea in the conservatory. It was like this. It was all very natural, just having a chat. And I was asked the same question. I said, well, here we are, 8 of us, 9 of us, whatever, sat around drinking tea, all naked, and it's fairly okay. If I was sat here in red lacy panties and a bra, people would think we were filming a porno. Or it doesn't have to be lacy underwear, but if I was wearing even any kind of bra and pants or French knickers or a little camisole top, they would have thought it was something odd going on. But being naked,
any lingerie,
you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Love Island thing. There's no nudity on that, but there might as well be.
When they're on the beach, their bikinis are so minuscule. They don't want to have tan lines, but they don't want to be naked. And they've got very, very string bikinis, tiny little triangles covering their modesty, or however they want to put it. But they may as well, it does not leave anything to the imagination anyway. It must be so uncomfortable.
I was going to say, like, once you've ever done a skinny dip or a naked swim, the last thing you want to do is put a costume on or a bikini and give yourself a wedgie. And
any sort of size of costume is not nice when you have to go. When you do go to a normal hotel, a non-naturist
textile.
I don't like the word textile, but
neither do I really.
In this context, people know what we're talking about. When you're in a textile or a non-naturist hotel or event and you want to use a spa and you have to put a swimsuit on, all you can think about is, I don't want to be wearing this. I shouldn't be wearing this. Whether in a sauna, swimming pool, you've got other people's children swimming around you, whatever, and you put off going to the spa area because you have to put some clothes on.
Yeah. When we were on, but anyway, we were in a sauna and everyone was naked except this one girl who had full-on lycra leggings on and a lycra bra top thing. And I just wondered why. She was in a naturist environment, but fully clad, and it was hot. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she was lost.
The thought of having to peel that off when it was all sweaty afterwards, does not appeal to me at all. If she's not been in a naturist environment before, well, maybe she'll give it a second thought next time.
Yeah, I should have had the courage to have a chat with her, but I was too stunned.
We've got to take the opportunity when we can.
Yeah.
I had some friends around for dinner and she's very okay at sunbathing topless, and I was trying to convince her, when you're abroad or whatever, maybe give it a try. She didn't look very shocked, but I was explaining some of my holiday experiences of places we've swam and places we've walked, and we've been completely naked, and she was a bit taken aback about how easy it was and how normalized that I'd made it. And it's like, yeah, you just boot in a backpack and you go up the mountain. You don't bump into anybody, so you never know, I might have another convert.
But it is, I mean, this is why we do what we do, and why you're very public about your naturism. I am, because I want people to benefit from it and realize that it isn't a bunch of weirdos ogling each other, or it's so easy to go off on a hike with just your backpack.
Yep.
And then you can feel the elements on your skin, the wind in your hair, and it's just lovely.
So you like the backpacking now, do you?
Well, I've got Simon for that. I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen you go on walks. I know you do occasionally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't not like doing them, but I don't like doing the 8-9 mile ones. I can do 6 without complaining too much. Again, it's one of those things that I've done, and I don't particularly like doing them, like I say, but I've done to represent that women do them. But you like it. You really like it, don't you?
Hiking naked. Oh yeah, absolutely. When Andrew and I go, not during the winter, because that we like to keep our health. But whenever we can, if it's possible to go hiking naked, it doesn't matter where it is. It could be fairly locally to here, South Downs, New Forest. It could be anywhere. We've hiked all sorts of places, up mountains in Scotland, south of Fuerteventura.
Do you get involved in the organised walks and stuff, or just go off on your own, or a bit of both?
Organised walks, I have contemplated them, but generally they're during the week, and I still work full time. It's very difficult for me to just have a Tuesday off and go for a walk,
yeah,
or whatever day it is.
Yeah.
we do organised walks, but not published ones. So we'll say to a few friends, you know, we're going for a hike around the New Forest. It's about 10 miles. Thanks for coming with us, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it wouldn't be unheard of to get, you know, 5 or 6 people together and go for a bit of a ramble. Usually there's a river or somewhere to go for a bit of a dip at the end of it, which is always nice. So yeah, but not for a while, but yeah, we have done that.
You also you mentioned a skinny dip, and you do quite a lot of swimming, don't you?
Try to. Going back to the Nationals in Watford. Yep, I'll be there. We've signed up. We got our medals when we went to Serbia last year. Yay.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Oh, it was fantastic. I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never been to the swimming gala at Watford, you know, in this country before. But that was an eye-opener. But yeah, it was not a cheap weekend. It was not relaxing, you know, because you're there and back in 48 hours. It's whirlwind, but it was so worth it. It was very well organised. Went to Serbia, as you do. They organised transfers, lovely hotel. You know, it was the INF, I think. There was a buffet dinner, and then the next day we all traipsed to the swimming pool in not conga line, but you know, great big long, like you do. You felt like you were at school going on a school trip with one at the front, one at the back, after the swimming pool, and it was so well organised. Everything was fantastic, such good fun. People from all sorts of countries talking and mingling and having a laugh, and that's all it was.
So you were there representing British Naturism, part of their team, is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The UK, we were singing for our country.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Germans completely trumped us and got a lot of gold. They just beat everybody. But we just came third. So we're hoping this year we're going to at least get up to second.
That's impressive. How many's on a team? How many people per team?
Well, you can have up to about 40 on the team.
Oh, wow, okay.
We had maybe about 14 or 15 swimmers. But I think the Germans had one in every category. And you get points just for taking part in the race. You don't have to come first, second, or third. But yeah, there was like 14 countries.
Wow.
I think it was. And we came third.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Are you interested in doing that again? Is something you would repeat?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We've already signed up for the Watford sports event. And then hopefully October, November time, the international swimming gala, which is in France this year, towards the end of the year.
Mm.
Yeah, we're doing well enough.
And do you do that in a women's category, or is it mixed?
It's all based on the age. It's all in 5 years.
Right. 5-year increment type thing. Yeah.
But if you find you're the only person in your age category, you're getting golds all the time because it's fine. So it's worth coming along, having a laugh. It's not taking that seriously. Yes, there's people timing you, and there was officials, 50-meter pools. It's fun. And we went and we had a gala dinner in the evening, bit of a disco, we had a quiz, and it was such a good weekend. So well put together. Was
it all naked? Obviously the swimming was, but the gala, the dinner.
Yeah, we were lucky enough that the hotel we were in had a big conference room set aside just for us for the weekend. And when we turned up on the Friday night, we had the dinner there and we could be naked. And that's where we had the quiz, not through the rest of the hotel, but just in that room.
Right.
And yeah, and then the gala dinner in the evening and the disco. But yeah, it was all in that room. Lots of people walking around the hotel in dressing gowns. But
yeah, we do love a dressing gown in this country, don't we?
Dressing gown, a towel and a pair of flip-flops. What more do you know?
Yeah. So we've talked about naturism. Now, do you think there's a difference between naturism and nudism, or is it interchangeable? Does it depend where you are in the world? What do you think?
Oh, in my head, for many, many years, naturism is a way of life. It's you like to have no clothes on. You like to do all sorts of aspects of your life naked. Being a nudist, in my head, now this is just my interpretation. A nudist is someone that's doing it to prove a point, will be naked 24/7 regardless. It's the person that tries to walk up to the shops naked, and the person that will, really get cross about it when they can't. I get cross when I change my clothes, but I know I'm not going to be able to walk up to the shop to buy a loaf of bread with no clothes on.
Yes.
You pick your fight, whether that's true or not, but that's the way I've always seen it. It's, I suppose, I think less like that these days because so many other people think nudism is naturism. And I think in America they call it nudism. But
Yeah.
It's just people's interpretation. It's being naked. So I'm slowly beginning to realise that it kind of means the same thing.
So you're not too bothered about being able to rock up to your local supermarket without your kit on?
Well, I would like to be able to. I think people should be able to if they want to and not cause a fuss. But I'm not going to, to do it to prove a point, because I know I'm not going to get anywhere. Maybe one day it will be acceptable. I don't quite have that in me yet. I mean, I'm a much more confident person than I used to be. I'm on the cover of the BN magazine, or, can't really hide with that. But, like Colin and Sadie, I'm not sure I could cycle down to my local pub, have a pint. I just can't quite get my head around doing that yet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No one believes me when I say I'm shy.
I don't like confrontation.
Exactly. Yeah, especially like Simon was talking about going for a walk in our local park. And I'm like, no, it's on my doorstep. It's where I live. But I would do it elsewhere. Isn't that odd?
Yeah, I've still got to be a little bit careful about where I am naked, because of what I do for a job. But obviously, Naturist beach, not a problem. It's fairly local, but I would rather it not be right on my doorstep.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there.
So you're very passionate, Sue, about normalizing naturism. What has driven you to do that? What is it about it that you want to share?
I just think the more integrated I am into the naturist community, and everybody is in the same boat. And it's not until the end you realise quite how big the naturist community actually is. It's not just, BN, however wonderful they are, is a fraction of the naturist community. You go to your local beach and probably we're the only BN members, and there could be 30 people, 40 people along the beach. So they're all naturists in their own right. They might do it in the garden or in their house, but they're all naturists, and they like going to the beach and sunbathing, going for a swim, skinny dip, but they don't like the organised, they don't want to put a label on it. They just like not having clothes on.
Yeah.
What encourages me to promote it? I think 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, I was a very different person, had a very different life. I was not very confident, but Naturism has given me confidence to do things I wouldn't ordinarily have thought of doing, like skinny dipping, climbing a mountain naked, throwing an axe naked, jumping from heights. The things you do at Nude Fest is ridiculous, the things you get. Silent disco.
6 meter drop.
I've even done clay pigeon shooting naked. Bizarre. But yeah, it's just everyday things, but naked. And people don't realise quite how not exhilarating it's not an icky way, but it's just confidence, to be able to be yourself. And people need to know how great it is to be free. You can be yourself and nobody cares.
Yeah, it is a lovely feeling. And I think that's why with women, once we experience naturism, we want to tell everyone how wonderful it is to not be constrained by clothing or fashion standards or worrying what people think of you. And that leads me to my next question. Lots of people have said to me, oh, that's great for you, but I haven't got the body for it. What would you say to that?
I would say that they need to go to Nude Fest or any kind of naturist event, because there are so many different types of people. And I'm not just talking about big and small, old and young, tall, skinny, black, white, everybody. Everyone's on a level pegging. Everyone's the same. It doesn't matter what you look like, whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you've got one arm, whether you've got no hair, covered in tattoos. It does not matter. In a naturist environment, everybody accepts everybody just because they're there. No crosswords, that everyone gets on, and you meet some fascinating people.
Yeah, I think true friendships are formed in a naturist environment. There's like this unspoken rule of conduct that everyone's got each other's back and everyone's nice to each other. And, it doesn't matter what job you've got, or it hardly even comes into conversation. You're just accepted at face value, literally.
And naturists have to be trusting. We go around bearing our souls, our skin. There is nothing to hide. There's nowhere to hide it. But also we have to trust each other. You carry around a towel to sit on and all your personal belongings in a bag. If you want to go and do something or you leave it there, you don't have pockets.
Although I have found a really good hack for a place to put my phone. It's just under my boobs. It stays.
You can't do that if you're skinny dipping, though.
True, true, true. But walking to the bar, I can. So it's often said, Sue, that there aren't enough women in naturism, and it's a bit of a bugbear of mine because I actually think there are plenty of women in naturism.
Yeah.
They perhaps not as public as I am or you are. What would you have to say to people who say, well, there's never enough women in naturism? What would you say to that?
There will always be more men than women naturists. I don't know what it is that men seem to have much less of a hang up about their own bodies and the way that they look. They're not shy about getting their bits out. They do it when they go into bathrooms. I don't know exactly what it is, but women, they grow up with hang ups about their body from when they're a teenager, and it comes from there. So there's always going to be more men. I don't think we're ever going to get on an even keel that way.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's interesting you say that. But for me, finding naturism has got rid of all my hang-ups. And that's why I want other women to experience what I have, because they'll free themselves from, worrying what people think, or I'm too fat for this, or I'm too old for that. It's gone. I don't care.
I didn't say I agreed with it.
No.
But I just think that's the nature of naturism. But there are also single women that are naturists.
Yeah.
Men aren't, far and few between, but they do exist. I was one of them.
Right. That's interesting, actually, that I haven't asked you this before. How was it for you as a single female naturist? How were you treated?
With open arms. No different to anybody else, though. Any new naturist is welcomed with open arms. I suppose I found it easier to join a local club being a single lady, but my previous partner joined as well, went a few times, was happy for me to go to the beach and other places and go to the club. That was absolutely fine. Yeah, it was very odd. It was almost like having a second life,
right?
And the naturist side of it, and then you go home and you're dressed and you work and around other family, and it was very odd not being able to be naked at home, only away from home.
It's kind of spun it on its head type thing.
But you'd think you could be able to be yourself. If there's going to be one place you could be yourself, it's your own home. Not then, no. Now this is a naturist house. You walk in and you can take your clothes off at the door, and if you're a naturist visitor, you come in, you can sit in the garden, and it's a naturist house.
Yeah, same as our house, really. Well, it is. So we talked about people or women, let's be particular, about saying they haven't got the right body shape and all that. And best advice there is to have a look around you. Like you say, everyone comes in different shapes, sizes, colours, and it really is quite liberating.
It is. I heard on one of your podcasts that when you turned up, you were the only person dressed in a naturist environment, and that made you feel uncomfortable. And then when you did finally relent and shed your clothes, nobody batted an eyelid. The guy didn't cave in. It was a great big fold and open up and eat you up. Nothing happens when you take your clothes off. Nobody stares at you because everyone else is naked.
That's it. But that's what I didn't realise. I thought everyone was going to be staring, everyone's going to be laughing. Whatever that negative thought was going to be, I was thinking it. And when I did ultimately take the dress off, nothing happened. I was like, oh, I've been doing my own head in and nothing happened. It was quite unremarkable. But that was my moment where I thought, get it now. I understand what all this is about. No one is staring. No one could give a monkey's what I'm doing at all, or what I look like, or what size my boobs are, or, and that was my clarity moment. I was like, yes, I must tell others.
They don't care what you look like or anything else, but they care about you. And they'll still talk to you without staring at parts of your body.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
This one, I think, going back to this 23-year-old fashion student that I interviewed, she was in her own home, completely dressed. She was on her own, and she had a high neck top on. She was wearing jeans and socks. And if you're in your own home, you could find out just in your own home. She's like, I was horrified. If some people can't even be naked and walk around their own home without anybody,
I wouldn't have.
I find that bizarre. I used to do that, but didn't think, when you walk from the bedroom to the bathroom naked or whatever, didn't think anything of that. But she was horrified at even the suggestion of being naked in her own home.
I was the same 3 years ago. you know, I'd have a towel on in between the bathroom and the bedroom and quickly get dressed and make sure the curtains were closed and that nobody could see me. You know, I was that person.
Oh, how times have changed. Thank goodness.
Isn't it? It's weird.
And now look at you.
I was so, poor Simon, I was so against it. Like when he first told me that he likes to live clothing optional lifestyle, I was just like, yeah, whatever, as long as it doesn't affect me, do what you like. But then, you know, as we all know, it did affect me. I made him put pants on in bed. Like,
Wicked woman.
I know, I was awful. I can see Sue's face here. She's gobsmacked. I know. But, you know, he's a patient old soul, so it all paid off in the end.
And now we have you as our Women in Naturism leader.
With a very, very good team as well, I must add. Sue is part of my team and is very helpful, promoting things, dragging her onto podcasts and things like that.
I do it willingly.
Do your family know about your naturism? Everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's not something you keep hidden.
No, not anymore.
No.
My parents know. My mum always asks about what we're getting up to, what holidays we're going on, what beaches we're going to, and she's interested. She wants to hear about what's going on. My son has accepted it, but doesn't want anything to do with it. He always phones in advance to let us know when he's coming round. So we'll be arriving in 5 minutes, sort of thing.
Brilliant.
So he knows that we're probably going to be naked. It gives us a chance to put some clothes on. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if it's not his thing, then that's fine.
I think you're right, actually. Naturism is about respect, isn't it? And respecting other people as well.
Yeah. I don't have any secrets about it. I'm careful who I tell at work, but generally I'm quite happy to tell new people. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. And I think not being frightened to talk about it really helps demystify it as well.
Yeah. You just drop it into the conversation as if it's
normal.
It's normal.
It is normal. To me and you, it's perfectly normal. So do you think naturism has changed since you discovered it 6 to 8 years ago? Do you think you're more and more able to talk about it in public on the whole?
Me personally or
People.
Everybody. People. I think it's become a bit more normalised because so many people tried it during lockdown, whether it was in their garden or just in their own house, saving money on washing powder by not wearing clothes. And yeah, there's lots of people that have at least dabbled with it now and identify themselves as naturists so much more than before. But yeah, I think in this day and age, people could drop it into the conversation without people going,
yeah,
and, you know, running away from it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, like you say, the more it's talked about, spoken about, and just dropped into normal conversations, like what you're doing at the weekend, oh, I'm going for a skinny dip or whatever that might be. And it's like unremarkable to most people. It's okay.
Majority of people won't bat an eyelid and it will go, oh, okay, that's fine. There will always be the few that grumble about it, but you're not doing it in front of them. You're not breaking the law. You're not.
No. And I think it's great that, you know, we are talking about it more, and those people that snigger are becoming fewer. There's still loads of them, don't get me wrong, you know, but it's becoming fewer.
Our job will never be done, Helen. We just need to keep on plugging at it and keep on trying to not convert people, because it should be a personal choice, but we need to promote it and,
of course,
need to, normalise it. And
normalise it, demystify it.
As I've said before, it's not that we need to make everybody naturist. We need to make everybody accepting of naturists. So even if they don't want to do it themselves, they should allow other people to do it without being bullied or confronted or made to feel like they're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think that ultimately that's the goal for many, 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 many naturists.
Yeah. Keep at it.
Keep on keeping on. Before we finish up, any advice to anybody, male or female, thinking about naturism, thinking about, I don't know how to get started. I get asked this a lot. How do I start? Well, to me, it's simply just take your clothes off. But what advice would you have?
There are so many opportunities to try naturism without having to do it around a big group of people. You start in your home. You start in your bathroom. You start, walking around in your bedroom or your house naked. And then when it's a nice sunny day, you might hang the washing out in your garden and not have any clothes on, or go to a beach. Naked people are at the beach. That's very normal. if you're going to find naked people anywhere, it's at the beach, and you don't have to talk to anybody. But that, in your garden, if people see you over the garden fence, that might, it might be a little bit of a shock. At the beach, there are naked bodies. It's
Do you know, I'm still yet to go to UK nudist or naturist beach. I still haven't done it.
That's appalling.
I know.
That is appalling. But it doesn't even have to be a naturist beach. Go to a skinny dip. Yes, there's lots of people naked in the pool. They can't actually see you because you're underwater.
Yes, that's a really good point. The water is like a blanket.
Yeah, but you get to appreciate the feeling of the water on you, and then you might do that at the beach. If you look on BN, there are so many different places.
Yeah.
Meet up for a cup of tea, or a skinny dip, or the online quiz, or there's so many different opportunities to be a naturist, and there's plenty of people that will be more than happy to talk to them about it, advise them.
The best thing of all is, by going along to one of the organised skinny dips or the Naked Heart walks, you're actually raising money for charity as well.
You're getting healthy, raising money, meeting friends. Yeah, it's a brilliant opportunity.
What's not to love, eh?
Absolutely.
Anything else we need to know before we go?
Well, if anybody's interested, Andrew and I have been asked to be leaders for BN Naturist holiday this year. That's very exciting. We are going to El Portus in the south of Spain for a week in May. All the details will be on the website. So very much looking forward to that. If anyone's interested, drop us an email, andrew@sue@bn.org.uk, I think it is.
I'll put it in the show notes.
So yeah, send us an email. But yeah, or information will be on the website.
Thank you ever so much, Sue. Any final thoughts? I think we've covered quite a lot.
Just be yourself and be happy in your own skin, and come along to one of the Naturist events.
Love it. Thank you very much, Sue. Take care for now.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Sue. That was wonderful. A really insightful conversation yet again. It's the podcast that just keeps giving. For clarity, Sue mentioned Colin and Sadie. They're also known as the Free Wilders, who cycled from John O'Groats to Land's End in the UK in aid of charity on a tandem, completely nude. We have many, many more women to speak to, all with unique stories, journeys into naturism or nudism, or just body positivity, or being nude and clothing free. We'd love to hear from you at Women in Focus. So if you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at womeninfocus@bn.org.uk. Or for more information, you can log on to bn.org.uk/womeninfocus. And don't forget to like, subscribe, interact with the podcasts on whatever platform you listen to it. By doing so, you will be helping with our engagement so that we can in turn try and reach other women that could benefit from the body positivity that Naturism brings. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to have you here again next month as we put women in focus.